This is Jared from Motherboard Genetics and Motherboard Farms, and today we're doing a pepper review. So, in today's review and first taste test, I have a new creation. It's an F1 variety. I got seeds of Khang Starr's Scarlet Rose and pollinated a specific branch with pollen from a regular old Trinidad Scorpion. So, probably not gonna be nice to my taste buds and mouth, but I want to see the flavor, if I can detect any with the heat of a scorpion. But just reading up on and having tasted the plain Scarlet Rose pepper by itself, I think that if the flavor comes through but adds just a little bit more heat, then it'll be a nice one to make hot salsa with. So let me show you the pod itself, or two of them, because it's kind of funny. Let me mic myself up here on the lapel so that I can have my hands free. So it's kind of funny because here is, let me see if I can get it to focus. This is the mixture, the Scarlet Rose crossed to a just traditional Trinidad Scorpion. Came out pretty, definitely a mixture of the parents. Well, I'm not going to be eating that one. Come on, autofocus. I'm not going to be eating that specific one because if anyone lives in California, specifically Northern California, you'll know that we like to have heat waves here, and especially where I'm located in the Sacramento Valley, it gets really hot. And so, when temperatures get really hot with pepper plants, they tend to create smaller fruit because it takes a shorter time for them to mature and then bear fruit, bear seeds, which is the intended purpose, I guess you would say, of a pod in the first place. It's not like the plant pops them out because it wants people to eat them. In fact, the capsaicin, the spicy part, actually acts as a repellent to a lot of mammals, not us crazy humans. But obviously, the point is procreation. It pollinates a flower, and then it will create a pod where the seeds will develop. So in hot conditions, when it doesn't know how long it's going to survive or if the conditions are going to improve, what the plant will just automatically do is it will start to produce smaller fruit or pods because, like I said, they take a shorter time to mature, therefore giving the plant a higher likelihood that it's going to get a mature pod that has at least some viable seeds to continue on its genetic lineage. So, this one was from a normal week, but then I have this one. Let's see if I can get it to focus on something this small. Might be a little difficult, but let's see. This one right here is tiny. You can see it juxtaposed up against my hand. It looks like it's not going to focus on something this small, especially when my face is in the way. This tiny little pod is the same exact plant, not even just same strain, but it's the exact same plant. And it was just from one of those, over 100 degree on average weeks. It honestly got up past that by a solid margin, up into the low 110s actually one day. So what we're gonna do is, I'm not just gonna pop the whole thing in my mouth, I'm gonna cut it open, because if there are any seeds in this thing, I would like to save them. So we're just gonna carefully cut this open. extract a couple of the seeds, actually. Give it a smell. Oh, that smells like it's gonna hurt. You know, compared to my friend group, I have a higher spice tolerance than they tend to, but that doesn't mean that I'm immune to it. Super hots are super hot, you know, even people who are crazy like smoking Ed Curry, they, you know, it's not like the heat doesn't hit them. So I'm kind of dumb for not having a drink handy, but I guess it'll make for better footage. So, full disclosure, I'm going to take the smaller of the two halves. And we're just going to send it. I'm not going to take out the pith or anything, which is where all the spice is located. I'm just going to avoid touching my face with my fingers now. And here we go. Oh, that's an amazing fruity flavor. Like a habanero, but different. So if you've ever had a habanero, you know that compared to peppers that, I'm trying to think of ones that obviously most people have at least experienced, like a jalapeno, especially when it's picked green and not red. A lot of people don't even know that they get red. Green is unripe. They're picked when they're not ripe. When they're green, they especially don't really have much flavor. When they're red, they get a little sweeter, but it's kind of a smoky, bland flavor in my opinion. So anyone who's experienced or gotten the, what I would call a privilege to experience a habanero because they taste so good, it is completely different in terms of pepper flavor. It's very fruity. It's got like a fruity citrus taste to it. That's why it goes great with a mango salsa, habanero mango salsa. You probably see those all the time in the stores. It's because the flavors pair really well. Sure, you could probably throw any pepper into a salsa and it's going to taste good, but there is something to be said about pairing flavors. Some are better than others, you know, like I was kind of worried about the Scorpion. It's not known for having the best flavor. In fact, it's kind of known for having a metallic, in my opinion, kind of flavor. And I've heard others not speak highly of it. So I was a little worried that it was going to impart too much of its flavor, but honestly, it kept most of the Scarlet Rose flavor, which is that kind of habanero-esque fruity. But it definitely got a little more kick than a plain Scarlet Rose. I know it doesn't necessarily look like it right now, but I definitely feel it. And I would say that for the average person, definitely do not try this by itself. But if you're experienced in terms of peppers, you could handle this one for sure. I could probably slice one of these up and throw it on a taco and it would give a nice kick, but it wouldn't be anything that would take away per se from the flavor of the food. So yeah, that's the first taste test and review of the Scarlet Rose crossed to a Trinidad Scorpion. Again, I'm Jared from Motherboard Genetics and Motherboard Farms, and hopefully we'll have seeds of this specific pepper, maybe even this literally specific pod, available pretty soon for this upcoming season next year in 2024.